So why have I chosen to work in healthcare? It's a good question, and I want to answer it from a couple of different angles. You see, the reason I chose this industry in the first place is different than now. And the fact that I chose to leave the industry for a couple of years to start a business, even though I had the intent to come back, still begs the question, why healthcare again now? So in the beginning, when I was in my undergraduate degree, I was choosing between two different majors, healthcare administration or school administration. I knew I wanted to do one of those things. I wanted to be a leader that had the ability to affect change in the world and had a position that he could leverage to, help in times of need. But I just didn't know which industry. The reason I chose healthcare ultimately, I think, was because it was exciting. It seemed to be a more complicated industry. I felt there was more prestige in being a healthcare administrator. Not a very good reason, but I think that was the reason. um, I also felt it was an industry that needed me more. Yeah, we have a wonderful healthcare system, but there's some things that need help, right? And I've seen that as I've worked in the industry. And you can see them outside before I even really joined in the first place. But mostly for the challenge, I felt that the industry needed me and the prestige, to be honest, right? Not a very good reason, but I think that was it. Now it's different. After working with Intermountain Healthcare, I started focusing a lot on happiness and joy. Started learning a lot about it. And I realized I wanted to be happy and I wanted to help other people to be happy. So that's really the reason now. And I found that there's really no better way to focus on that sort of thing than in an industry that's focused on healing, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. And I think our industry does a good job of focusing on the whole. Now, as an administrator, I don't know if I always have the same sort of patient interaction that I'd like, where I could help people in that healing process, but it happened quite a few times. Not as much as the caregivers, but I had plenty of opportunities to bless patients' lives for good. And it's perfect in that environment of healing. So that's why I choose it now. And you see, with my business, why did I choose to leave though? Well, I have an entrepreneurial bug. I love to grow things. And I had an entrepreneurship class in my MBA that made me really want to start. I read a couple books that made me want to start. And one of the real reasons was, I realized it would be a good retirement option as well. I'd be able to use it as an extra income source when I get towards retirement. And it'd be great for my kids. There are a bunch of reasons why I chose to do a business, and I'm loving it and still want to continue to have my businesses. But they're at a point now where they can work without my direct supervision. I've got a lot of subscription model based services that also make it easier to where not as much time is taken for me and my employees, but doesn't demand all my supervision. Web design, but we're cutting back on that one a little bit. But the reason I want to come back is, like I said, it's the perfect environment to help people live the happiest lives. So that's why healthcare.